Emily, and welcome to Emwigsters Bookshelf. This is Ink and Inspiration, a series where I chat to authors about their books, their creative journeys, and stories that behind the stories. If you love books and the people who write them, you're in the right place. Let's jump in and tell us who you are and a little bit about your book.
So my name's Kendall Concini-Moore. My books are children picture books, and they focus on mental health, something a little bit different, which I'm very excited about creating. It focuses on the parent point of view. So having a kid recognize that their parent is experiencing emotions and how to not have to be responsible for that, and just kind of give love and kindness and space.
I don't think it's really important for people to realize how much like co-regulation parents actually
Mhm.
do. If you don't have kids or work with kids, it's a lot to
Yes.
co-regulate with them. And it's a lot on the
And I
parent.
think the important thing that I try and share through it is that it's hard to do that all the time. And everyone says, use a calm voice and gentle parenting. And I'm like, but it's not realistic to expect that 24/7. And then the guilt kind of builds because you worry, like, what happens because I yelled or had to kind of not gentle parent or just had a bad day for myself and snapped for 1 second. And so a lot of it is just giving yourself kindness to say, we're all navigating doing this for the first time, first time parent, even if it's the second child, it doesn't get any easier. And in the book, we kind of talk about that a lot. Like, this is why mom's reacting that way. And it's not your fault, but I'm having a cloudy day, and you need to know that I can't be the same happy, let's play Bluey for 8 hours, mom. It needs to be, I need a pause. And so I try and teach that that still makes me a really great parent who goes to the beach, just needs a little space differently.
Yep, the permission to have a bad day that you shouldn't
Yes.
have to feel like you need, but it is sort of the grace that you need to give yourself as well. I don't know how
Exactly.
mums and parents who are parents plus teachers as well, because like you're burning it at both
Never turns off.
ends. Never turned off. What drew you to writing, in particular children's books in the first place?
Oh, I couldn't find anything like it. Like, we are a huge library family, and there seems to be a book on everything. We have gone through a lot of books to teach a lot of concepts that are near and dear to us, to our kids. But when it came to something on that end, to just say it's mom and it's not you, it was just a lot of emotion-based books teaching them what emotions are. Like, you're sad. We have a book where the kid drops his ice cream and she's like, okay, that's sad. And I'm like, but sometimes it's just sad. Like, it's just a wave of a feeling. And so the more I couldn't find something to create, I created a bedtime story for her. And when I really sort of threw myself into it, I said, okay, I'm going to also create like an Instagram to make myself accountable for what I'm saying I need to do. And so the idea was, I'm going to post cloudy days and I'm going to share mental health resources. And when people were resonating with that, I thought, okay, maybe the book isn't just me creating it for her here at home in like a Shutterfly style book. Maybe it's something bigger. And so I really had to develop the story to like a masses. Like, the first version I love and I have. It's hard to read now because I'm like cringing, but it's long. It's like 1,800 words, and but it's our story from home. And so I kind of cut it down to be more digestible for just the initial conversation for kids. And so it's like writing was not a dream or goal. I'm a huge reader. I love reading what anyone does, but it was like trying to bring it together and ask to, like, does this make sense to anyone else? And luckily it does.
It's like a more detailed, like a very resonating social story for like kids
Yeah.
to understand their parents as well. They normally focus on just like the kid and what the kids can experience, but it's like, your parents can experience are experiencing things as well.
Yes, and it's a big part of it too is like fighting that in the industry. Like
Mm.
I tried traditional publishing because I thought like that's the way you go, and the initial feedback was like kids only want their point of view. And I was like, well, I mean, I have a lot of point of view books from the library that are like the point of view of fruit and the point of view of a rock. And I'm like, and my kids get that that's not a person. So I feel like they can get that a parent has feelings, and it doesn't mean that like yes, mom is like the star of the book because it's about her, but the kids are really the heroes of the book because they have the most lines interacting with her. And when I had some of my daughter's friends read it, like they understood, like, oh, the book is about us being there for mom, even though it's mom's point of view. And I think we need to give our kids credit that they can be smarter than just they need to read, like, I said.
Yeah.
No, they could read mom said and grasp that she's saying it to them.
And the kids are much smarter than traditional publishers give them credit
Yeah.
for. What was your process for writing your book, writing the book? So you started off with just writing it for you and your kids. How did it change? Or how did you go about it?
At the time, I was a stay-at-home mom, so it was a little easier to find time to just be like, I have an idea. I really want to take a few hours and get this out. A lot of it, because it was a mental health book, was linked to I had like new health stuff going on, and when I would get really depressed about that, I'd kind of say, okay, I want to go write for a few hours. I want to like literally take what is in me and get it out and make it into something positive. Um, but that was my like internal when I was feeling with something and kind of got it out through writing. But I did involve my family in writing it because it is us in the book. And so I wanted it to feel authentic. Like when I would get stuck, I'd be like, what would you say if I said this? And then I tried to use like their one-liners. And at the time, I we were going to the beach and we were taking photos so then I can give them to an illustrator and be like, this is what I envision. Like this is how we look at the beach. And so a lot of it was my kids responding to stuff that I said. And some of those lines like stayed. They were like, this cannot change no matter what the editor said. And some of it I had to like finally give up on. I think it took me like a lot of iterations before I finally dropped some stuff that they had said. And it was like, no, everything they do is wonderful. But it was just a fun process of like some of the lines dad say the kids picked with me in the background and we were like excited for him to finally see which one we picked. So it was a very like collaborative and kind of therapeutic rating.
I don't think people realize how much it is. Like you're writing the text as well, but then you also have the collaborative process with the illustrator as well. How was that shift with
Oh, I love my illustrator. I was on Threads and I had been trying to find an illustrator, and once you like look at something, of course you get all the ads, or I had mentioned something and everyone was like DMing me. And I just had like no idea what to do because people had really great art, but then creating a story was like they would like charge per the character. And I was like, well, I don't know if the cloud's its own character or not. And it felt very stressful. And there was this one person who just like kept popping up advice, like on like, here's how to think about a layout and here's how to think about your characters. And at times I like asked her for advice. And then one day I was just like fed up with this one illustrator I was thinking of because I was like, no, like that's not my vision at all. And I like had complained to her. I was like, I wish you just did illustrations. And she's like, well, I do. And I was like, well, then why didn't you like pitch me at all? But like that wasn't her vibe. And I loved that too. Because I was like, this whole time you could have been like, pick me. And so I did pick her and she did like it was just brilliant because she was very gentle with like I was like I have to explain what I see in each scene, but it's like linked to my emotions and depression and how to make that a kid's fun book. And she did a lot of like research on depression and she found like other emotion books and shading and everything to have like the outsider mindset So when I'm seeing like a million things on the page because my brain's everywhere, she pulled like the core out of it and created this flowing story. And at first, it was like seeing it, it was like, oh my God, that doesn't match what I saw for that page, but I saw why it couldn't like. And then she added shading and color. And, the feedback we've been getting from the ARC release is just like the images really do ground something heavy with just this kindness and like whimsy that she created in the little stuff in the background too. So it just was like when you think like heavy mental health, I'm like, okay, she is the drawings are like the reminder that it's better than
Yeah.
just what you see as the dark cloud.
You definitely need the perfect match of illustrator for picture books to have that winning combination. So it's really good that you have
Yeah.
that. Are there any books or il authors that inspired you in your endeavor?
Yeah, I mean, my core books are my core books. Like my son's name comes from Where the Wild Things Are, and my daughter's name comes from The History of Love. And so in my mind, it was always trying to have the word adventure. So something where it's like, even if you're feeling something, that adventure is always in the core of a story because you're going from where you think you are and experiencing this whole journey. And I was just really trying to focus on that mentality of like, yes, it's heavy, but we're still having this time together. And, one of my tattoos is from the book Starless Sea,
Oh
and
yeah.
that book was just I like it was one of the first books I like cried while reading just because it was so beautiful to envision like what would the library give to you and what would open up and kind of be in your world. And so I tried to write it with the same like we're going to talk about something heavy, but we're going to throw in all of these little side adventures within it.
You need the adventure and everything to get
Yes.
anything happening with kids too.
Yes.
Has writing and publishing a book changed the way you see yourself?
Yes, I feel like a more authentic me.
Yep.
So it was really hard because my depression is high functioning depression. And so there's so often that I tell people like finally like, hey, I struggle with depression. And their first response is like you, because I'm so extroverted and I love like talking and being out there. But part of it is like I do that to distract my mind. And so when I finally had kind of shared like, hey, I'm doing this, I did it because initially I was in like this contest to get published. And I was like, okay, if I tell people, they'll help like vote and kind of share the message. And the response was just like overwhelming, positive, and it felt really great to just be like, yeah, I have all these cloudy days and like open up to people. Like that's why I kind of cancel sometimes, or that's why I shift what we're doing. And the authenticity of that, I ended up leaving the contest because I was like, I don't need this. I can publish on my own. Like people believe in this. And like now it just feels better to like kind of have the language that I knew we were using at home out there in the world and know like yes that's the what I want behind my book, to just like text a friend and be like, hey, cloudy day, like I can't, and not have to make an excuse or a reason. And then from doing kind of the book like this, meeting people I would have never met from Australia and being like, I get to like read your blog and hear all the other great books and things that are out there. And I'm meeting mental health organizations that either I was like too intimidated by or kind of didn't think that my voice was like loud enough in it. And now I get to be a part of their organizations and stuff. And just, it's been a whole new, like, this is the version I like of
Yeah.
not kind of keeping it at home, but just being out there in the world with it.
I think everyone sort of needs to realize that you don't need to justify if you're having like you're
Yes.
just not having a good day. You can if people who really are there for you will just go, okay, that's fine. We'll switch. It's all good. Don't need it. You don't need to justify. And like that's what you
Yes.
need. Do you have a favorite writing snack or drink?
Yes. Well, I did like a really fun podcast earlier called Drinks in the Library, and you get to like
Yeah.
read and drink, and I was like, here's my go-to drink. So I was like, yes, I already had my cocktail tonight. uh, it is a cocktail. It's when I was writing a lot of it was like warm hot toddies. And I was like, yes, nice and cozy. And I would get in a groove, and my husband is like so supportive. And I would tell him, like, I was like, I really need to write. And I had my little writing area. We have like the little hot toddy set up. And if he sees like it's getting low, he's like, do you want more tea? And I'm like, yes. And so that was kind of my go-to. I had a lot of fun pictures of like me writing. I got like a little fun pillow desk thing and had a little cup holder in there. And so that was it. I'm not a huge snacker, so it was cocktails.
Sometimes you just need the cocktails to get you through the
Yes.
writing. That's the most important part. Do you listen to music while you write, or is it silence?
Oh, I think part of like the ADHD too is I'm a noise person. And so I really love like at the time like staying at home or even working from home when that's allowed because I was like I have background noise constantly, whether it's like music, binging shows. It's like I don't really remember because I've been writing it over like 4 years, but I know we were big on just like noise and doing it. And the kids. I know Miss Linky on YouTube is a workout fitness for kids. And whenever I was like home with the kids and couldn't get them to do something, I was like, all right, you guys get one Miss Linky episode, and that gives me 30 minutes to write. And so I was like into it. I'm like, so I'd say like mine is whatever's on in the background that gives me noise because I need it to kind of know that something's going on and it's okay to kind of hold up. When it's just silence, I feel like guilt, like I should be doing something. Um, so it was like a lot of varieties.
Even if I'm reading, I've got something going in the background to like it's
Yes.
fine. I'm technically doing something, but I'm reading more.
Yes.
And my final question is, who has been the biggest supporter of your writing?
My husband.
Mm.
Like it was emotional because when I told him, I was like, I want to write a book, and he's just like, do it. And then when you start to look up the pieces and putting it together, I was like, all right, let's like, yes, I know you're supportive for the message, but let's talk about like the financials and stuff. And he was like, no, like, I know how much this helps you and how much I enjoy helping others. And so he just has been there along the way for like all of the moments where I'm like, I'm gonna do it, and then where I'm like laying on the floor and I'm like, why am I doing this? And just kind of kept pushing, and he kind of had the kids be the champions all along the way. Like they're already into it. They love everything I do, but all the little stuff, like we'd go to the beach and they would have brought props and he was like, surprise, we're doing like a photo shoot or like making hoodies and stuff. And they made me like a little book nook. And it's just every time I kind of doubt, like, what am I doing? He's right there to just be like, we're doing this and we got you. And so like I wouldn't have been a parent without him because I didn't have that confidence in the depression to be like, I can do this. And so just him being a part of it, I'm like, in a respect, it's like I don't have to do it because I can phone it in as a parent and he will like get my back.
Yep.
And so it's helped me be like the stronger version of everything.
You need the cheerleaders and the champions right next to you
Yes.
to help you. Don't think a lot of people would be able to do anything without their family supporting them.
Yeah. I do.
But
I have a wonderful chosen family, and I'll give them like a shout out. Like my Dara and Abby are just like my daughter's aunts, and she knows like they're not like blood. And she's like, but that's my aunt. And then I had a friend Ella who helped me. Like I remember calling her because she draws and she draws like everything in our house. And I was like, I want to do a book. And she's like, I can't draw that. But I did like sneak her in there because she did my illustration for my like imprint logo. She made me a little raccoon holding a cloud. And I was like, I knew I was gonna have you do something, but she read a lot of the early versions of the book and like reading them now, I'm like, oh my God, why did you tell me these were good? And she's like, no, I knew you were gonna get there. But it's just that team behind you that like tells you, yes, you can do this, and then kind of helps you do some of it. And they like helped me edit and helped me draw stuff. And I was like, okay, good job, team.
Need the talent with the drawing because I wouldn't be able
Yes.
to do anything with drawing. Writing,
Yes.
maybe. Drawing, no.